was a life-changing experience for me, more than anything. And before you deep, profound church folks say, well, it's when I got saved. Yes, that's true when you get saved, but there's nothing like parenting when you know that little human being is counting on you to make the right decisions for their life. You become godlike. You become godlike in character, because every single day they trust that you're going to make the right actions for them. When you become a parent, you no longer can think about yourself. You no longer are living for just you. You are living for someone else. Even those who are single, and you may fade out in this part, because you may say, you know what, I'm not a parent. That's not something I'm worrying about. But even in picking your mate, in choosing your next mate, you are looking if he has parental qualities or she, because you want to make sure that they are good enough to build a family with.
Yes, sir.
Can I get an amen for the Singapore? You're checking off in a distance if somebody hands him a baby to see if he holds it properly. Stop acting like that, though. You're checking if he's holding him right, him or her right, because if he's shaking him wrong, you're like, well, I don't know. For fellas, we are checking out the attitude. You're checking out the personality. You're checking out how they respond to different circumstances or different situations. Because you say, man, I can't imagine her being a mother. Where's my church at? And so even though you're not thinking about parenthood, it still plays a role even in your single life. Because you're thinking down in the future to hopefully if you are choosing a mate, that you are not thinking just about what they provide for you, but future down the line, hopefully you're thinking about what kind of person is this going to be if we do decide to have children together. Amen. It is. Children's change your life. I know for me, I had started school and started working. And money was a wonderful thing. Money is a wonderful thing. Where the other church at? Money is a wonderful thing. Amen. Money is a wonderful thing. And so I had left school and put down school because money is a wonderful thing. And then when I got married and I knew that children was coming, and there's no way I could tell my child to go to college if I didn't finish. Because they'll look at me and be like, but daddy, you didn't go to college. Or you didn't finish and you made it. Therefore, I can make it too. And so that made me go back to school and finish what I had to finish. Oh, thank you. Because you realize, in order to be that example for your child, you're thinking future to make sure you raise them correctly. That's what parenting does. And for the last few weeks, I'm so thankful of the last few weeks. We've been talking about, for unto us a child is born. For unto us a son is given. And the few weeks, especially 2 weeks ago, we turned this place into a birthing center where whatever you had inside, God was giving birth to all different promises and giftings and purpose. And it was a moment of high celebration. That was the day we had the ugly sweater day, which our pastor-elect said probably was one of the best days ever. That day, that day within the sermon, within the movement of the Spirit, God was giving birth. And there were saints all over delivering purpose, giftings, callings. It was a beautiful place to be. But we realized something about having a child, having a baby. After that moment of delivery, after the moment where everyone congratulates you, after the moment of high celebration, after the shepherds go home, after all the attention dissipates and everyone leaves and all that rejoicing is over, what's left is responsibility. After that excitement, see, everybody wants to have a wonderful time. Everybody congratulates you. When you're having a child, you rejoice. You have a wonderful time. And all around you, people will walk up to you and say, wonderful. And they will, some people get cigars, smoke cigars, open a bottle of something. And after you open the bottle of something, smoke your cigars, and you rejoice, the next day or the next few weeks, guess what? It's a responsibility. After you've given birth, then there's the calling of responsibility. And one of the things that we have a lot in church is that we'll give birth to callings. We'll give birth to giftings. And then we don't parent the same thing God placed inside of us. I can't get no help in here. We want God to give us new vision, new purpose, new calling. We ask for it, we pray, we say, Lord, fill us up with something. And then God allows us to deliver it, but then we do nothing after the day to make sure we parent it. How many things God has given you? How many moments have you walked into church and God has given you something destiny-wise, and you have it for that day and don't do anything with it after that? Can I get a church to say amen with me? Now your gift or the vision that God has given you, you have neglected. And one thing about when you have a new vision in its infancy stage, if you don't feed it or take care of it, it will die. How many of us have our callings and our giftings has died? Because we didn't give it the adequate attention it needed after delivery. Touch your neighbor and say, responsibility. This is all I want to talk to you about, because I believe that beyond just the excitement of moments, and I love high emotional moments, I love high worship, I love being in church and having that encounter with God. But I realize with every high moment comes great responsibility. I can't get no help. With every high moment becomes great responsibility. And it's what you do after you go home. I can't. How many of you in here, God has given you a vision? I see 3 hands. Because now you're worrying, because now I'm going to talk about your parenting. If God has given you something, a calling, a gifting, a vision, how many of you God has given that? Every last hand should be up. If God has given you something, a calling, a vision, a gifting, something, if God has given it to you, I need to see your hand. I need you to be responsible parents. I mean, come down your road this morning. That if God has given it to you 2 years ago, then we should see signs of growth. Now, what is happening right now, the uncomfortability that you feel in this, because now I'm talking about how you've been parenting what God has given you. Some of you, God has given you something 10 years ago. And it's still in its infancy stage. Yeah, you know why I'm doing this at the last day of the year? So to make sure that I kind of push you to get going for the 2019. You should know with me that every Sunday is going to be something emotional. I'm going to challenge you to make sure you live up to the standard in which God has given you. Touch your neighbor and say, parents. Look at somebody else on the other side, parents. I'll be brief. We don't get great detail about Mary and Joseph's parenting skills. It's not that we don't have that much. We don't see Jesus at 4. We don't see Jesus at 5. We don't see him at 6, 7. We see little glimpses of him here and there. We don't have exhaustive examples. There's not a lot of stuff within the Bible to point to Mary and Joseph as parents. But we do have enough information. We do have enough information that we can soundly conclude that they were good parents. Are you with me? Stay with me today. We have enough. We have their pre-birth. We see how Mary and Joseph how they handle the angel of the Lord saying that you're going to have a child. And Joseph saying, from who? You pregnant by who? And then him getting his act together, realizing, okay, I'm going to do what the Lord says. Although my virgin wife I didn't touch her, but she's pregnant, and you said it's God. Now imagine if that was you. She comes home and says, you know what? Boo, I'm pregnant, and God did it. And you got to take care as Joseph, you know you're engaged to her. And she said, I'm telling you, Joseph, it was God. It was God's baby. And how he handled that he got in line with God, and he was willing to say, you know what? If this is God, I'm going to trust you. We don't get glimpses, but we understand even in the small part that they could have been good parents. We see how Joseph tries to make sure he protects the child at 2 years old when he flees to Egypt. And so all throughout the Bible, we don't really see how much they are as parents, but we can see based on the beginning and even Jesus, where Jesus ends up, that Jesus fulfills his destiny. We can tell that they were good parents. Don't miss it. Based on how the child ends up, that he fulfills his destiny, I can safely assume that the parents did a good job. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Now, I know some of you might say, well, Jesus is the Son of God. He didn't need any parenting. What parenting would he need? And I'm here to tell you, the more gifted you are, the more parenting you need. The more gifted is the more parenting to help guide and direct you to that destiny. You can't allow yourself to sit back, although the person is gifted. They need you more because they're gifted. You can imagine that although Jesus was the Son of God, he could still have been influenced wrong. I wish I could talk. Just because he was Jesus doesn't mean he could have been influenced the wrong way. He still was an infant. And he needed them to guide him. That's why God sought out Mary. That's why God sought out Mary, because he knew, I can trust you with what I'm giving you to make sure you direct him in the right path, because I'll give it to somebody else. child was small to Jesus. And he would have never ended up on the cross. Well, I'm preaching. Because some of you, God has given you some things. And you allowed it to go off track. Yeah. That's why when you see potential in your child, you need to be you need to be the best parent you can to make sure they fulfill the destiny you see. Oh man, I wish I had. Don't get upset with me, please. How they behave. Let me show you how they behave. That it rubbed off on Jesus. Let me show you how it rubbed off on Jesus. That how they acted when Jesus was in the womb. It shows up in how Jesus' actions. Oh yeah, you don't have a room for me? My wife is pregnant. You don't have a room for me? No, we don't have a room for you, sir. But my wife is pregnant. There's no room in the inn. No problem. Since you don't have a bed, I'll figure out a way and make this baby be born in a barn. I'm not going to argue and fight, although you rejected me. I'm going to find another way to survive. Don't listen. Joseph didn't argue or fight. What he did, he became resourceful. And he said, since I can't get it here, I'm going to find somewhere else. You need parents that understand how to handle rejection. Because if you can't handle your rejection, your children can't handle rejection. It shows up later in Matthew, where he says, if the town don't accept you, don't worry about it. If they don't accept you in that town, don't worry about it. If they do accept you, let your peace remain there. If not, take your peace with you, dust off your feet, and find somewhere else. You know why it's important? You know why it's important? You got to teach your children how not only about acceptance, but you got to teach them about rejection. Because children that don't understand rejection get stuck. Children that don't understand rejection get stuck in knocking down doors where the person is saying no. Oh, I wish. Especially when somebody don't want you. Especially when they don't want your type of love. And you can be chasing closed doors and trying to force your way into a place that don't want you. Do me a favor, because maybe I'm going too fast. Turn your Bibles to Matthew 10, verse 12. Turn your Bibles to Matthew 10, verse 12. Your children become a direct reflection of what you are. And for me personally, I want to teach my children wherever I lost, I want to teach them how to win. Whenever and wherever I lost, I want my children to learn how to win. I don't want them to repeat the same mess ups I did. I don't want them to go through the same thing I did. I don't want them to have the bad attitude I did. But wherever I lost, I want to teach them, listen, I lost here, but you can win. Too many of us are teaching our children to fail in the same place we failed at. Oh, am I coming down the street too much? You got to learn, just because the attitude works for you, it may not work for your child. And you got to learn how to switch up your style, because you're not only just thinking about you, you got to think about your child. That you can't always fight your way into something. You can't always argue your way into getting something. You got to learn when the door is closed, say, baby, don't worry, find another way. Oh, Lord. Yeah. That's how you talk about being responsible parents. Look at that verse in Matthew 10, verse 12, what he says. There's a powerful thing that he says. If you enter a house, greet the occupants. If the house is worthy, let your peace rest there. If it's not, don't fight, I love that. Let your peace return. Because although you might be disappointed, but you got to learn to let your peace come back to you. Some of you are still upset over things that have been closed, and you still not have gotten over it, and you still not have resolved it emotionally, and it's been a long time. You've been banging on closed doors and upset, but the Lord teaches us, if there's no space for me, cool. I found somewhere else that want me. Woo! That's a word right there. There is somebody else. God always has someone. God always has someone else. God always have another job. God will always have another car. But sometimes we got to get the confidence to look at somebody. Joker, you ain't the last person in the world. Everything don't revolve around you. There will be somebody else. This is a reflection of Joseph being turned away as when Jesus was still in the womb. I'm not going to fight you for a space. I'm going to find a barn that I can handle rejection. And I'm teaching my son who's in the womb how to handle rejection too. All at parenting. Listen, don't take for a joke the parenting, or you think your child is young and they don't got no sense. Or if they're still in your womb and they say they ain't got no sense. All of those things are working out the wiring in how your baby thinks. And if you think I'm talking about a human, I'm talking about vision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about your calling. You have to change for your calling, not your calling change for you. Let me know if this is too much. So we learned something, that the direct reflection of how they were as parents spilled over to Jesus. That he became a responsible adult, all because Mary and Joseph. We don't see it a lot. We don't see their parenting a lot, but it's important that I pointed out today that you have a future inside of you that you have to raise.
Yes, sir.
You are raising a future inside of you. And how you parent it will determine the destiny, and not only you, but what you bring your children. Here's what the Bible says. This is a moment. Go back to Luke. I'm going to take my time today, but I'm going to be quick. Don't worry. Touch your name and say, he's going to be quick. Look at verse number 19. This is the highest moment. Luke 2. Go back to Luke 2. It may feel like a Bible study, but don't worry. Luke 2, verse 19. Go back to that. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Mary treasured up all these things. Now, understand this. The shepherds are there. They're having a party. The shepherds is yapping. They're talking about what they heard in the field, how the angel came to them, and they're talking about all the things that this baby, and I'm so glad that Pastor-elect came last week to tell you about the shepherds and their occupation. They're talking, and at Mary's highest moment, everybody else is talking but her. Look at the scene. Shepherds are talking. Every round they're telling everybody, but Mary is quiet. At the highest moment of Mary's life, she's saying the least. She has nothing to say. She is pondering. She's pondering and trying to figure out. Shepherd shouting, Mary silent. is talking, Mary is thinking. Shepherd is praising, Mary is pondering. Pondering means to think carefully in your head. And what I want to establish to you, that there's not enough thinking. There's a whole lot of talking. Yeah. When God has given you something, you have to ponder it. Let me tell you the ponder words. How many of you take notes? How many use your notes app even in the middle of service? See, this is areas where you have to improve. And I'm not coming at you. Because in moments like these, God gives you word. And you're so caught up in it that you're in the moment, but as soon as you leave, you forget. Ooh. And now the word doesn't be able to get roots because you want to revisit it after. Mary is pondering, holding everything up in her heart. She's treasuring it in her heart. Here's what she's doing. She's trying to figure out the deeper meaning. Not only am I trying to figure out the deeper meaning, I want to figure out the deeper meaning, but by how it feels and how I think. Because there's meaning and then there's deeper meaning. Hold on. When God gives you something that's special inside of you, there is meaning and then there's deeper meaning. Meaning that you got to evaluate, break down, talk it over to yourself. Chew on it. Let it marinate for a while and settle, because you don't want it just to be an emotional thought. In church, we can get caught in the emotion of a moment and not think it through. She's pondering it. While they were emotional, she was thinking psychological. Gathering all the information because it was bigger. I realized something. When God gives you something big, it doesn't produce shout. It produces silence. When God gives you something big, the gravity of the moment of what He placed inside of you, you can't talk. Because you're now realizing all that it's going to take. How many lives it's going to touch. What you got to do. How it's going to change your life. And so you can't shout. Most times you sit in silence because it's so big. I wish I had some. When you're trying to figure out a deeper meaning for something and you realize how big it is, you're scared. Mary is pondering. Read it, this in your word. Mary is pondering all the things that they said, because she's saying, oh my God, this is coming out of me. Here's something. The shepherds selfishly were shouting. Not everybody that when you tell something and they share something are there for you. You know that already. They're there selfishly. Because they're thinking how they're going to profit from your gift.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jesus, help us by glory.
They're thinking how the shepherds was worshiping, and honestly, it was good. But they were worshiping because now this baby was going to change their status.
Yes.
This baby was going to now make them more acceptable. You know how I know? The disciples didn't even understand it. When Jesus said, I'm going to die, they got upset. They got upset because they wanted him to change their status. Not knowing that he didn't come for their status, he came for the world. And people will shout for your gifting as long as it's profitable to them.
Yes, sir.
Not every shout in here is a shout for somebody else. It's a shout selfishly. How God going to do something for me. How I'm going to make some more money. How I'm going to change my situations. Don't lie. When God gives you a call and you say, how I'm going to benefit. And most of the times you're not shouting how you're going to change the world. You're really thinking about how you're going to change just your life. I wish I had somebody. How God is going to increase my bank account. How God is going to make my home different. But when God is giving you something deeper than you, you can't shout. Most of the time you sit and ponder, how is this going to happen? How am I going to work it out? And if God is giving you something, please stop thinking about how you're going to profit from it. Hold on. Don't miss that. If God is giving you a vision, please stop thinking of how it's going to make you more profitable. How much money it's going to add to you. Don't do a disservice to the gifting that God has placed inside you. Because a lot of people that profit from the giftings that God has given them selfishly. Check out the world. There's tons of people that use the talents and gifts that God has given them for themselves to make themselves richer. Touch your name and say, Father. She's given this important moment to think holistically. She wants the bigger picture. It means to find the right meaning. When God gives you calling, there's a lot of meaning, but there's one right meaning. And that right meaning takes time to think about. She's not thinking about herself. She's thinking about the greater meaning. God has given you a promise. While it's exciting, take your time to write it down. Come on, tell your neighbor to write it down. Come on, tell your other neighbor to write it down. This is not a moment to nod off. You know why? This is why this reflects your parenting. When God has downloaded information, after this moment, you're going to need this after you're gone. God has downloaded. So she gathered up her thoughts and she treasured these things. So here's where I want to make sure you know. 2018, there was a lot of talking. Let 2019 be a year of thinking. 2018, there was a lot of talking. Let 2019 be a year that you are thinking. Be slow to talk and quick to think. Come on. Be slow to talk. Tell your neighbor, be slow to talk and quick to think. Be slow to talk and quick to think. One more time, tell your other neighbor that don't want to listen to you. Be slow to talk. Because some of the issues your mouth has gotten you into, your mind is still trying to think you out of it. Let me say it one more time. Some of the things your mouth has gotten you into, your mind is still trying to think you out. One more time. Some of the things you got your mouth, you talked yourself into. Now your mind is trying to think your way out of it. If you just shut your mouth and think first, you'd have been further. Slow to talk, quick to think. Let it be a year that you ponder. Here's why. The Bible says she treasured these things in her heart. She locked them in her heart. She didn't want to share it with the shepherds. Not because the company was poor. Not because they couldn't handle it. But certain things God gives you, you can't tell. It's too expensive. There are thoughts that God gives you that is so expensive, you can't use it or give it away for free. Not because the people are not worth it, but it's for you. I can't get no help. Your thoughts are wealthy. And when you put it in the atmosphere, it becomes under debate or discussion. And once you start doing debate or discussion, some people can talk you out of what God brought you into. I'm preaching to myself. You got to learn to shut your mouth. She treasured the thoughts of everything the angel told her. She could have easily said, well, the angel visit me too. But she said, nah, that's all right. Because I don't want to tell them how big this promise is. So she held it back to protect it. Shutting your mouth protects your vision. The promise, here's the thing when you talk. Never speak for your promise. Let it grow up and speak for itself. Never. I've never will speak for my promise. What God has placed inside of me, you will never hear me speak about it or defend it. You will never hear me beating it over your head. I'm going to let it speak for yourself so you can say, that's it. Some of you are trying to prove you have a promise and you're talking too much. And it's not worth it because the crowd is too, and it's not profitable. So you let the baby grow up and Jesus will speak for himself. Same thing for your vision. Don't try to go through it and tell somebody this is what God is doing. This is what he's going to do for me. This is what I'm going to do for that. No, you don't need to do all of that. Keep living. Keep nurturing it. And sooner or later, your vision will speak for you. I don't need to tell you everything my kids are doing. Because then it opens it up for attack. You know the deal. Not everybody want to see you succeed. That's just the truth. Not everybody wants to see you profit. They don't mind if they profit, but once you start profiting more than them, and they don't think you're worth all this profit, then they will talk you out of it. I realize since they can't destroy the destiny, they can talk you out of it. That was a good place to say thank you, Lord. You got to learn your ears. I'm telling you, more than ever, you don't need more money. You need to learn how to close your ears and shut your mouth. I know if I said the Lord, if the Lord just told me that he's going to give you an increase in your bank account. Come on, Doc. Put that all on me. I need more money. But if I tell you that if you shut your mouth, God will add more wisdom to your life. I won't be that much crazy. You don't need more money. You need to learn how to shut your mouth and ask God for more wisdom. Because once it's inside of here, nobody can get to it. Lay your treasures not on earth. I wish I had somebody in here. My mind is my treasure. My thoughts are my treasure. My peace is my treasure. I wish I had one person that would identify if you would have been more silent here, things would have been better. If I just would have shut my mouth here, I would have been further over here. What I should have stopped talking, I should have spent some more time thinking. I know this might not be a word you want. But it's a word we need. I'm teaching you how to be a good parent. Because everybody is not looking for the seed inside you to succeed. And as a parent, you got to learn to keep your mouth shut. Let them talk. Let people shout. Let secret. Touch your name and say, think more. Speak less. Think more, speak less. Going on further. Not moving. Going on further, the Bible says that after 8 days, Jesus was not named yet. Jesus was not named yet. It was he, although they gave him the birth, when the angel visited Mary the first time and said, call him Jesus, he wasn't named until 8 days after. 8 days after. There's a whole Jewish custom in it, but because of time, I'm not going to go into it. But they named him. She was obedient. Yes. The angel said, name him Jesus. Yes. She didn't get it for herself and name it Jacob. Don't miss that. The angel said, name it Jesus. She didn't have it and name it Jacob. Because we can rename what God has given us. And he told you to name it this. And you got caught up in the moment and named it something else. How many have ever erased what God has labeled it and erased it and put their own thing on it? That we've taken what God has said, I want you to do this with it, and we did that with it. She was obedient enough, she said, I'm going to name it. 9 months later, plus 8 days, I'm not going to name it Jacob, although my friends think that name is better. Although it'll make me more socially acceptable to name it this. I'm going to name it what the angel said. Because I want to be obedient. That's how you know she was a good parent. Months later, she didn't go off in her own. She named it what the angel said to name it. What's in the name? What's in the name? We take names for granted. We label everything. But to their custom, their name was a prophecy. They were prophesying the child's future. His name is Jesus, for he shall what? Save the people from their sins. So Jesus was a prophetic name. A name is that you're speaking destiny from now. You want it to be prophetic. When you give somebody a name, you want it to have a prophetic name. So every time somebody calls them that, they're reminded of their destiny. That you'll never forget this is your name. I'm missing you here. And when God has given you something, make sure you name it the appropriate name. Don't name it failure. Don't name it I don't feel nothing. Don't name it it's inadequate. Don't name it it's not good enough. When God has given you something, name it by its name. That's why I label I will prosper and succeed. Because I'm growing myself to think I'm going to function in. I will be the head and not the tail. I will go over and not underneath. I need to know, how are you speaking to yourself? What name are you giving yourself? Put this in your note. Name it to frame it. Not name it and claim it. Name it to frame it. What I mean by name it to frame is that you are developing the picture. You are framing the future. You're making it stay within a bounds. When I say I will prosper and succeed, I'm framing my future. I'm not letting anybody else speak anything else to it. I will prosper. I will succeed. And no ifs and no maybes. I will prosper. That's what's in the name. What's in the name that every time you say it, you walk in that thing. Touch your name with the name in the frame, and I'm moving real quickly. Point number 2. Point number 3, she made sure it was circumcised. She made sure Jesus was circumcised. There are some things you just got to cut. You got to cut it in covenant. That's the name of it. Cut it in covenant. One of the things that when my son, well, he had been circumcised, and you see that little thing, and you say, Lord, this little baby, he's going to go through some serious pain. All the brothers like Jesus. And so you figure that, oh my God, that little baby got to go through that little pain. And you almost tempted to say no. But you want to do it when they're young. Because the older they get, it's harder to do. Don't miss it. You got to cut it young. Some of the things God will tell you to cut a long time. And the reason why you can't cut it, now it's painful. And you can't cut it. But if you would have cut it when God says to cut it, if you would have cut it when He said, now you would have gone through the pain you're going through now. And some of you still has not cut. You still have yet to cut. The older you get, the more complicated it is to cut. And anytime I hear somebody say, well, it's complicated, that's cold for me. You didn't cut it. That's code for me, letting you know that there was an issue that you seen coming. Let me tell you about parenting. Parenting is one of those things that we see things coming. We set up our houses to know that they may get hurt here. We move furniture to say that this baby may fall down here. I wish I talked to him. Real parents, where are you? You can go through your house and say, you know what, he may fall here, she may trip here. Before they start walking in it. Yeah, I'm glad you're coming. Same thing in life. You see when you're about to fall. And instead of you avoid it, you think you're big enough to walk in it. Now years you're stuck in the same place. You knew you would have tripped. Touch it and say, cut it early. Yeah, I'm not waiting until 2019. I want you to cut it now. Can somebody say, cut it early? Cut it. Cut it while it's young. Because then you're going to have grown-up problems. And some of these issues that we are carrying, we didn't get yesterday. They showed his head up when we was teenagers. I wish I had a church. Some of the habits we have, they didn't come overnight. Some of us think we just started lying yesterday. No, you didn't. You've been lying a long time. You didn't just start drinking yesterday. You wasn't fornicating just last night. It's been a long. I want to be real, 100% real with you. I want to be 100% real. You didn't just start this last night. It's been something you see. You can't tell me you don't see your nastiness a long time. You've seen it. And it just walks all over your house. And then now you're a grown man. Your nastiness is a grown man, grown woman, with their feet up on your furniture. Living in your basement, and you can't kick them out. Because now that you've grown, and your nastiness was called back to you, you ain't throwing me out now. I wish I could talk to you like I really want to. The attitude comes back to you. You ain't kicking me out now. I've been a part of your life a long time. when God wasn't there. I got you through it. I wish I had a church. But she was a good parent because she's seen some things that I don't want to call like ignorance while he gets big, so I'm going to cut it when he's young. So she won't suffer when I suffer. Yeah. You gotta ponder and think. More thinking, more thinking, not too much talking. You gotta name it and frame it. You gotta cut it and cover it. The last thing she did, she brought him to church. The Bible says she brought him back to church. What God gave her, she gave back to him. Whatever God gives you, you got to learn to give it back to him. Everything God has placed in your life, he gave it to you. None of it is your own. You got to learn to make sure you bring it to church to give it back. There should never be a silent moment in church. Because every time you're in here, you're giving him back what he's given to you. Don't ever tell me you come into church with nothing in your hand. Because whatever he's given to you, you've come into this place to give it back to him. This place is a place of dedication where we say, Lord, everything I have is yours. None of it is my own. I'm not going to act like it. I'm not going to pretend like it. I'm not going to walk like it. I'm not going to be arrogant in it. Everything you've given me, everything I have, you've given it to me. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to give it back to you. It's my time. I need you to be better parents. And I'm not saying that you're bad ones. When I say better, that means there's always room for improvement. If you think you are the best parent, you are the worst parent. Because I still don't know a lot of stuff. And I'm learning every single day. And I got 5. There's always something new because what worked with one won't work with the other. And so now you're learning to deal with what you have because every day it changes. Man, I was telling Bible study, there's no way you can have the same approach every single day. There's no way you can treat your child the same way every single day. There's multiple approaches. Because if you choose one way all the time, they will tune you out. The same thing happens with your vision. If you approach it the same way and not act like it's more, or you neglect it anyway, it will turn on you. Got to put time in it. Nurture it what God has given you. That room for improvement, all of us in here have it. There's always room. Yeah, say it to yourself. There's always room. Stand everywhere. Ponder. If you left with one thing, more than anything, cut it is important. More than anything, less talking. Less talking, more thinking. Let that be something that you strive for. Jot moments down when God has dropped things in your spirit. This is a practice that you have to do. When God has dropped something in your spirit, write it down. Take out your phone. Whatever you're doing, Whatever you're doing, if God has dropped something in your spirit, stop. Don't move. Take it down. Watch how it keeps ministering to you. I dropped something down in 2013 and it's still ministering. Don't let those moments, because that's a seed. You ever have moments where you know it's God talking to you? And it's clear. And you know it's not yourself because you know what you sound like. But sometimes our voice can sound like God. But you know it's not you because it's telling you to do something that you would never do. Like they'll tell you to give somebody something and you'll be like, what? That's you. That's why you know that's God. Because he knows you would not have done it. So that's the Spirit saying, do that. Jot it down. Because those are your lifelines. That's vision in the infancy stage. And when you build on it, you can see how God does great things. I'm done. Last point. I had a dream last night about someone running. I've been having some weird dreams anyway. So I told my wife I've been having some weird dreams, and I'm always in church. And I'm like, Lord, change the setting. Can you let me dream somewhere else? I'm in church too much. Where I'm dreaming about church too much. This morning I woke up running. And that it was God chasing me. And I knew and it was almost a fugitive like where you're in one spot and you know he's about to show up to that spot to catch you and you run further. Because you was avoid being caught. But he kept chasing. And every spot that I went to, I knew he was coming, and I left before he got there. There's somebody in here running. God is chasing you, and you're aware that he's chasing you. Every spot you at, he finds you. He's trying to find you there, and you leave before he gets there. He brought me here this afternoon.